Good evening. Call to order the regular meeting of the Planning Commission, December 5th, 2024. You have the roll call.
Pearson.
Here.
Willenbring is absent. Campbell is also absent. McCauley.
Here.
Diata.
Here.
Hagan.
Here.
Wilson.
Here.
Thank you. With Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we have approval of the agenda. Is there anything you need to add to the agenda? I take it as no. Somebody move to approve the agenda?
Make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Approval of the agenda. Approval of minutes. We have two before us, October 3rd and November 7th. October 3rd first. Any changes from anyone?
No.
Motion to accept as presented.
Make a motion to approve the October 3rd minutes.
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain, I wasn't here.
I will too. November 7th minutes. Does anyone have any changes for that? If not, may I have a motion to approve as presented?
I'll abstain.
I guess I'll make a motion to approve as as presented. You were here, so if you would second it, please.
Second. Sorry.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion to approve as presented is accepted. Next is the open forum. This is an opportunity for anyone in the audience to present something that is not on the agenda already. So if anyone cares to voice an opinion or a point, please come forward. Open the open forum. Seeing no one moving to the front, I'll close the forum then. And we'll go on to old business, of which there is none. New business, a public hearing for Zai Shah, 4066 Goodwin Avenue North, conditional use permit for the home occupation of a dental workshop. Luke.
Thank you, Chair. So on the screen, we'll have it showed up here in just a moment. Whoops. Let me switch. Bear with me just a moment while I get things straightened out there. So on the screen there is the property in question. So the address is 4066 Goodwin Avenue. It's directly across from Goodwin Park, and this general area is located north of 40th Street. The zoning of the site is R1, so that is our very low-density residential district where home occupations are allowed through the conditional use permit process, or CUP process. So the applicant is seeking formal approval to continue operating a dental workshop which specializes in making crowns and dentures. So here's a closer look at the site in question. The business operations are contained within the applicant's garage, and the applicant is the property owner in this instance. The applicant describes the use as being similar in intensity and in nature to like a wood shop or jewelry repair business. So equipment used for the business includes polishing machines, suction units, and molds for polymer impression devices. Reportedly, there are no customer visits on site, and there are no non-standard deliveries for the use. So no specialty deliveries, in other words. So the applicant essentially picks up and drops off the dental products to dental offices. So conditional use permits are subject to certain review criteria that's found in the city's ordinance. And here's just a quick summary of the review criteria that the city must use when evaluating these requests. So there's one set, and then I'll follow up with a more specific set of criteria. So compliance with the city's comprehensive plan, compatibility of the use with the zoning district, no nuisance effects generated, no traffic congestion or parking issues created. The use must be adequately served by public services, no excessive costs incurred for public services, and minimal impacts to the environment and natural features. And then specifically for home occupations, and when we say that, or in other words, it's like a home business essentially. The business must be conducted by a family member residing on the property. Up to one non-family member may also be employed by the use. The operations must occur fully within the home or an accessory structure. In this case, it's the garage. The use cannot create noticeable externalities. Hours of operation shall be specified in the conditional use permit. And then finally, if the use requires a license or outside approval, it will essentially be tied to the conditional use permit. And I do want to address this specific criteria. So per the city attorney's office, the applicant is solely responsible for ensuring that they have received any applicable state or federal approvals or licenses to operate the use. That's, again, the responsibility of the applicant. It's not the responsibility of the city. So staff is recommending a condition of approval that addresses this issue. So with all that said, staff finds that the conditional use permit review criteria of the ordinance has been satisfied as detailed in the staff report on file, and staff recommends approval of the request subject to the following 4 conditions, and I'll read those off. Number 1, hours of operation for the use shall be from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Sunday through Saturday. No more than 1 outside worker shall be employed for the use. Number 3, all signage for the use shall comply with the city's regulations. And number 4, if applicable, and again, I want to emphasize that if applicable, the applicant shall obtain and maintain any required approvals or licenses from state or federal government agencies to operate the use. So as a reminder, this is a public hearing. The applicant is here if you have questions. Otherwise, I am available if you have questions. Thank you.
Thank you. I do have one question for you. Item number 1 of your list, hours of operation from 9 to 5. Why, since it's a very low noise, low observable occupation, why would we limit it to 5 o'clock? That all was asked for? If that's,
Right, just in my conversations with the applicant, those were the general business hours. Now, if the commission would like to adjust those, or if the applicant would like to adjust those, it's certainly at the discretion of the commission to make updates.
I'm just questioning why the 5 p.m. limitation at that point, but if the applicant is okay with it, that's perfectly fine. Anyone else have any questions?
I do. Chair Luke, is there a limitation on how many customers could be served at the same time in the home occupation?
Mm-hmm. So the city's ordinance does not specify how many customer visits are limited. And in this instance, the applicant states that there are no customer visits. The applicant goes to the dental offices, picks up the products, works on them in the garage, and then returns those products back to the dental office.
As a follow-up, I think one of the condition is that they should only 1 outside employees working for them, right?
Correct.
How about internet? If the property owner or the business owner has people that live with them, right? Are they excluded from that condition?
So if,
The way you phrased it was one non-family member.
Yeah.
right,
That would, by language, say family members would be allowed at that point.
exactly. But this is such a specialized operation, with the qualifications that you need to operate or this type of business. I guess I don't want to speak for the applicant, but it's likely this is just a one-person operation.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Anyone else have questions? No. I'd like to offer the applicant an opportunity to come forward if he wishes. Otherwise, we'll just proceed. Okay. Any final comments from anybody on the commission?
No.
I look for the motion then.
Chair,
Yes, sir.
just a reminder, this is a public hearing, so we want to open it up for any comments as well.
Okay, open a public hearing on this issue. Anyone wishing to make comment, please come forward.
I'm Robert Betts. I live at 4044 next door. We've been there since 1977, and we've had great luck with neighbors in the past. Like most people, at a certain point, I decided my garage was not big enough, and you always want more room. And so I applied for a permit from the city, and at that time, the requirement was, through my shock, that I had to basically, since my garage is attached, the requirement is that you have to dig another foundation. It's like putting a basement under your garage. So I had to go down 6 feet and pour a foundation, put it in block, and the other requirement was that I had to be 20 feet off the line. Well, since then, that requirement's been changed, but so I wish I knew then, because I could have had a bigger garage. But anyhow, the reason why I bring that up is at 4066, the garage was also made bigger. And supposedly, the city gave a variance so that garage could be 4 foot from the property line. So right now, we're experiencing noise from this operation. And I could tell when he gets a big order, because he's working out there late at night even, 10, 11 o'clock at night. And I don't know what's making the noise. I imagine there's some kind of consolidation type unit or something like that to mix the chemicals and consolidate the mixture. So we're not too happy with it, but we haven't said anything. But now it's come to this, and I'm worried that this is going to become even a bigger operation, and we have to live next to it. So there's also a vent on the garage that vents out chemical fumes that I don't know what they are, but I don't know if you've looked into any of this, but that's kind of where we're at.
So you'd be in favor of the 5 PM limitation, then, I take it? Which is in there at this moment.
If it's going to continue, yes. But I guess, we're not too happy with the noise, so that's what I wanted to bring up. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who wishes to come forward for the public hearing part?
Hi, my name is Mike Marone, and I live right across the street from 4066. Our driveways are basically, straight across from each other. Our houses are straight across from each other. We have an office upstairs that we look out over our driveway, and I can see everything that goes on out there all the time because we're always in the office, okay? We've lived there for 38 years. I honestly, if it wouldn't be that Zai leaves at 9 o'clock typically every morning, I think, and I'm assuming this, but I think to take a package out, and he comes home with a Starbucks coffee almost every day. To me, he's just going out and get a cup of coffee, but I think he's taking some product out. But if it wouldn't be for that, I wouldn't have any idea that he's even got a business in there. We never hear any noise. I don't know about the venting, if that's even true or not, but there's absolutely no negative issue about him having that business over there, from my perspective anyway. And like I say, we're there all the time. We're retired, and we see and hear it going on all the time. The two other things I'd like to say, or one other thing I'd like to say, and then I have a question. Like I say, we've lived there for 38 years, okay? And I can't remember how long Zai's been there, but it's probably been 4 or 5 years now. but by far in the 38 years that we've been there, they've been the very best neighbors we've ever had, okay? As far as, you know, taking care of their kids, taking care of their yards, doing the kind of things that they need to do like normal citizens. So they contribute to the community very well. I don't see any negative impact whatsoever on what he's doing out of his garage, okay? That being said, I have a question. You know, all these people nowadays that are working from home, be it computers or being it other things, I assume that a lot of those don't need conditional use permits. Is it only for products that are made in a facility or in a garage or something? Or do you have conditional use permits for anybody that works out of home on a computer? I'd like to know where the limits are for this.
I'll have to pass that question to Luke as the expert on the requirements.
Good question.
So, I apologize, I have to address the commission. The city's ordinance, it really is intended to review home occupations when there's externalities. In this case, specialized equipment, but other things can trigger a home occupation permit, such as customer visits, non-standard deliveries, noise or other externalities are produced. We're trying to better define that. We have a code update project that the commission is aware of. We're trying to better get a handle of that. But just for most folks who do work at home, you know, think of like a graphic designer or someone who's just on the computer, that does not rise to the level of a home occupation. It's when operations may have an impact on neighboring property is when we would require a permit.
Yeah, and I can understand that, and we would all want to see that naturally. But like I say, again, in this case, you know, we're there all the time. We see it summer, winter, all that, and there's, like I say, I wouldn't even know that he had a business over there. There's just no sign of it other than going out for a cup of coffee every morning, so.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you very much. Is there anyone else who wishes to come forward? I will ask you to limit it to, have you said it before? If you're just restating it, then we would.
I just don't want to have to put up with the noise at any time of the day. You mentioned 5 o'clock, so.
I'm assuming you're the applicant.
I am.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm Zai Cha. I reside at the address 4066. Yeah, I'm not sure how we even got to where we are now. I thought when I moved into this neighborhood, it was gonna be my last place that I will reside at, and I really enjoy living there with the neighbors and everything. Everybody's been really nice and cool, and sharing details about the neighbors, whatnot, and you know, like I said, I don't know how this got off on the wrong foot. And as far as like the noise go, like I said, if you were just standing outside the house, you couldn't even hear. I mean, if you put your ear up against my garage, okay, maybe you might be able to hear something. But other than that, I don't know actually where this noise is coming from. The vent, as far as the vent in the garage is just to vent out air to control the climate inside. I'm not sure where he get all this fume from, but I assure you there's nothing going on in there. And like I said, I've always been kind to the neighbors. We've always made food and meals, and we've always handed out, including to everyone around us, you know, including our neighbor right next to us, you know. Like I said, I've never had any issue. Sometimes, you know, neighbors do kind of come out and lash out at us and the kids, and I don't understand why. I just tell everybody, just ignore it, you know, don't feed into it. And like I said, we're doing our best to not escalate this any further. Like I said, I don't know how we ended up in this situation. I mean, it was just because of a disagreement we had. Did I really truly violate any ordinance or laws or anything like that? As far as I know, I'm pretty obedient to ordinance and laws, so it's really confusing to me why this matter has to be brought up. So that's just where I stand now. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Can I ask you a question, sir?
Yes.
How long you been working in the business in your garage?
Oh, probably a couple years.
Couple of years.
3
Is your
years.
garage finished?
Just the one. Just the one area, yeah. The stall, the one stall.
Just all.
Not the whole garage, no.
Okay, so is it separated between the two then?
It is, yes.
Okay. How did it come to you to have to get a permit or to get an ordinance to do? How did it come to your attention
That,
that you're coming through this to get a conditional use permit?
well, I was notified through the city,
Okay,
yeah.
all right, thank you.
Yeah. Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. Let's bring it back to the, is there anyone else who wishes to come forward?
I have a question though.
You have a question for who?
Yeah.
For the applicant?
Should I wait? For the applicant, yeah.
I just got a quick one. I live 2 houses down from 4066, and my kids, I just moved there like 4 years ago, and first-time home buyer. He is an old friend of my brother's, and I just realized that. And then my kids go over and play with his kids a lot, and when I have trouble with like, I need a lawnmower issue, snow blower, any questions that I have, I go over to him because I look to him like a big brother and he knows more. Every time I go over, I'll sit at the door for like 5 minutes. I'll call him, see what he's doing. And his kids will come to the door and be like, oh, where's your dad? Oh, he's working in the garage. And I can't even hear nothing. I'm talking about nothing. So, you know, that's the only, just want to add that little comment there about the noise. And I didn't even know he had a business until maybe 6 months down the road. And I was like, what do you do in your garage? He goes, well, I work. And I'm like, well, I wouldn't even know that if you didn't even tell me, because I don't hear nothing. And when he's done working during the summer, he has garages open, he fixes cars, and I wouldn't even know that there's a shop there because it looks just like a garage. So,
Thank you. Yeah, you had a question.
Yes, either for either Luke or the applicant. So based on how the purpose statement is sort of phrased, so he has been operating before coming to seek for this.
Right.
Is it for lack of knowing that he needs to do this? Or sort of like, let me start operating until I get caught situation?
I believe it's, the applicant did not know the regulations. There are many property owners operating home businesses. They simply don't know that they need to get a permit. This is something I've experienced both here at Oakdale and in a previous community that I worked with. But I mean, the goal for the city is always to help bring the property and the use into compliance with zoning regulations.
If I might comment, the applicant's letter addresses that question. He was not aware of the requirement prior to it being brought to his attention by the city.
Yeah, and I get it. I do appreciate it because, you know, the cities, we want compliance, not punishing people, right? I get it, it's customer service. But again, this is a health issue. Sort of working on people's sort of dental issues. I think it's bigger than what I am reading right now here. So has he contacted the state at all? Is he okay with the state?
So my understanding is, and I'm by no means an expert in this area because it gets very complicated if you're talking about what is required to have approval or licenses through government agencies such as the FDA. that's fully on the applicant to ensure that he does that. And again, the city attorney's office their direction is that's fully on the applicant to ensure that they do. It's no liability to the city. Similar to like someone who's operating a barber shop out of their garage, it's on them to ensure that they get a license through the state cosmetology board.
Well, that's good to know, because that's where I'm going with this. I just sort of kind of worry that we might be talking about something, either approving or recommending approval or something that may have a larger implication with the state. If it's on them with the state, I'm good. Yeah. Basically, doesn't involve the city.
Anyone else have questions? Okay, I close the public hearing, bring it back. Again, if there's any questions, otherwise I'll ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for a conditional use permit at 4066 Goodwin Avenue.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much. Motion is passed. Next is a public hearing on the Larson Family Real Estate, LLLP, and the United Properties 3M Imation Planned Unit Development Amendment to allow an additional pylon sign at 3490 Hayward Avenue North. Luke?
Thank you, Chair. So the location of this site, it's on the Forefront Technology and Office Campus, which is located in the northeast quadrant of Interstate 694 and 34th Street, which is also referred to as County Road 14. So the proposed pylon sign would be located on the property addressed 3490 Hayward Avenue. So that is the Superior Third Party Logistics site. So that's a warehousing and distribution business. The zoning for this area is 3M Imation Planned Unit Development, or PUD, which was established back in 1997 for the campus. And just a little bit of information on the PUD. PUD zoning is an alternative to conventional zoning, and it allows greater flexibility for development as a way to promote innovation and efficiency. So the purpose of the request here is that the applicant is seeking flexibility from these city's zoning regulations to establish a 50-foot tall pylon sign containing 2 sign faces. Each sign face would be 350 square feet. So the requested signage exceeds the city's standards for pylon signage. So by code, you're only allowed a pylon sign to be 30 feet tall, and each face can only have up to 150 square feet. Also, pylon signs are only allowed on commercially zoned property, and the site is not zoned commercial. However, the PUD zoning enables a great deal of flexibility, provided that there is some type of public benefit that is derived from the flexibility provided. So here is a look at the signage across the Forefront campus. So for reference, the campus is approximately 120 acres. There are 13 existing signs throughout the Forefront area, including 1 pylon off 34th Street here near the soon-to-be-open Aldi. And again, this request is to allow for an additional pylon sign on the west side of the campus so that it utilizes visibility from Interstate 694. The applicant states that additional signage will help brand the Forefront campus. And here's a look at the proposed sign. Again, it's 50 feet tall in height and would contain 2 sign faces. Each sign face is 350 square feet. Now, with all that said, staff finds that the additional pylon sign is acceptable, given that it will be placed away from existing signage on the Forefront campus in a manner that prevents signage clutter. The design elements appear consistent with the existing signage throughout this area, and additionally, the materials appear to be of high quality. Just a reminder here that if the PUD amendment is approved, the applicant still has to seek a building permit before they install the sign. So the Minnesota DOT, Department of Transportation, they also reviewed and commented on this request. They only noted that any illumination for the sign should be kept to a reasonable level so it doesn't distract drivers on the interstate. With that all said, staff recommends approval of this PUD amendment. And just a reminder, this is a public hearing as well, and the applicant is here in attendance if you have questions, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Okay, anyone have any questions of Luke before I open public hearing?
No.
I do. Luke, Chair, Luke, is there a possibility for the sign at some point in the future to turn into a digital sign, sort of changing messages within seconds?
If the applicant would want to convert the signage from static to dynamic or electronic, they would have to come back to the Planning Commission and City Council for a conditional use permit. That's how we process the dynamic signage.
Thank you.
And that would also have to get passed by DOT because it's on their property, or right away, I believe, too. Any other questions? Would the applicant care to make any comment first? Okay, I open the public hearing. If there's anyone in presence, which there isn't, who would like to come forward, please do. Otherwise, I will close the public hearing. Seeing none, I close the public hearing, bring it back. If there's any further questions or discussion from the commission.
No, I don't have any.
Okay, then I ask for a motion.
Motion.
So moved.
So moved, sorry, so moved.
Any second, please?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, the motion is passed. I thank you very much. Done with the new business, on to staff liaison update.
Just a couple updates, quick updates here. So I do not expect that we will have a January Planning Commission meeting. We didn't receive any land use applications by our submittal deadline. So I think we'll have a month off there. And the other thing is just wishing you a good holiday season.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any updates from commissioners?
No.
Okay. Council liaison, Jake Ingebrigtsen.
Yeah, this will be my last meeting here as your liaison. My term expires January 6th. I do want to just I'll have a lot more to say at my last meeting, which is next Tuesday, but I do want to thank our past city planner, Emily Shively, our current city planner, Luke, and also Andy Gitzlaff. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with you guys. We're lucky to have you. And I also want to thank all commissioners, past and present, for serving Oakdale. You've been a big help to the council. And I don't think this is the end of my political career, but we'll save that for another day. So,
To be continued.
to be continued. So thank you guys very much. It has been a pleasure. And I have no idea who your liaison's going to be, so don't ask. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That finishes the agenda, so I look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much. Meeting is closed.
Thanks, Jay.
Short meeting.